Imagine waking up tomorrow in a world where YouTube never existed.
No tutorials teaching you how to fix your computer. No creators building million-dollar businesses from their bedrooms.
No music videos collecting billions of views.
No podcasts, gaming channels, documentaries, or viral moments shared across the globe.
A world without YouTube would feel almost unrecognizable. Yet the most surprising part of this story is that YouTube was never supposed to exist in the form we know today.
In fact, it began as something completely different. A dating website, and not a very successful one.
3 ordinary young entrepreneurs believed they had found the next big thing.
Their idea seemed simple.
People would upload short videos introducing themselves.
Others would watch those videos and find romantic matches. It sounded innovative. It sounded modern. It sounded like the future. But almost nobody wanted it. The website was struggling before it had even begun. Most startups die in moments like these.
Founders quit.
Investors disappear. Dreams collapse. But hidden inside this failure was a discovery so powerful that it would eventually transform entertainment, education, business, and communication forever. The founders didn't know it yet.
The users didn't know it yet.
The world certainly didn't know it yet.
But one of the most influential platforms in human history was about to emerge from the ashes of a failed idea.
This is the story of how 3 former PayPal employees accidentally changed the internet forever.
And it all started with a problem that almost everyone ignored. Chapter 1: The Internet Before YouTube. To understand why YouTube became so successful, you first have to understand what the internet looked like before it existed.
Today, sharing a video takes seconds.
You record something on your phone.
You upload it. Millions of people can watch it instantly.
But in the early 2000s, things were very different.
Internet speeds were painfully slow. Many households still relied on connections that struggled to load basic websites.
Streaming video was unreliable. Buffering was constant.
Watching even a short clip could test your patience.
If you wanted to share a video with friends, things became even more complicated. Video files were often enormous. Sending them through email was difficult. Different devices supported different formats. A video recorded on one computer might not even play correctly on another. For ordinary users, video sharing was frustrating.
And because it was frustrating, most people simply didn't do it. At the same time, a new era of the internet was beginning.
Social networking was gaining momentum.
MySpace was exploding in popularity.
People were spending hours customizing profiles and connecting online. Facebook had recently launched, but was still limited to college students. The internet was becoming more social every day. Yet one major piece was missing.
Video.
Photos were easy to share. Text was easy to share.
Video remained complicated. Nobody had truly solved the problem.
And somewhere in Silicon Valley, 3 young entrepreneurs were beginning to notice.
They weren't famous.
They weren't billionaires. They weren't trying to change the world.
They were simply looking for opportunities.
But sometimes the biggest revolutions begin with the smallest observations. The 3 men who would eventually create YouTube had something important in common.
They all worked at PayPal. At the time, PayPal was one of the fastest growing technology companies in the world.
The company attracted ambitious thinkers, people who weren't afraid of taking risks, people who saw problems as opportunities.
And among those people were Chad Hurley, Steve Chern, and George Karam.
None of them could have predicted what was coming next.
But their experiences at PayPal were quietly preparing them for one of the most important startup journeys in internet history.
Chapter 2: The PayPal Mafia.
PayPal wasn't just a company, it was a training ground. Inside its offices worked a collection of individuals who would later help shape the modern technology industry.
Many future founders, investors, and innovators passed through PayPal's doors.
Years later, journalists would give this group a nickname:
the PayPal Mafia.
Not because they were criminals, but because so many of them went on to build enormously successful companies.
The environment was intense.
Employees worked long hours. Competition was fierce. Problems had to be solved quickly.
Innovation wasn't optional.
It was survival. For Chet Hurley, Steve Chern, and George Karam, PayPal provided more than just a paycheck.
It provided an education. They learned how startups scale. They learned how technology products grow.
Most importantly, they learned how successful companies solve real problems.
These lessons would become invaluable. As PayPal grew, The three founders developed different skills.
Chad Hurley was known for design. He understood how products should look and feel.
Steve Chern excelled in engineering. He knew how to build systems that worked. George Coram brought strong technical expertise and product insight. Together, they formed a balanced team.
A rare combination of creativity and technical talent.
But even talented people need the right opportunity.
And that opportunity would arrive from an unexpected direction. Some stories claim the inspiration came after difficulties finding online videos of major events.
Others point to frustrations with sharing personal video clips.
Regardless of the exact origin, the founders recognized something important.
Video sharing was broken.
The technology existed, the demand existed, but the user experience was terrible.
People wanted simplicity. The challenge was figuring out how to provide it.
At first, however, they didn't imagine building a universal video platform.
Their minds were focused somewhere else entirely.
Dating. And that decision would almost destroy everything before it even began.
Chapter 3. The Failed Dating Website. By early 2005, the three founders were ready to take a leap of faith.
They had left the comfort of established careers behind.
Now they were building something of their own.
On February 14th, Valentine's Day, 2005, a new domain appeared on the internet, YouTube.
Today that name is recognized almost everywhere on Earth, but back then, it meant absolutely nothing.
There were no creators,
no subscribers, no viral videos, no billion-dollar acquisition waiting around the corner.
Just an idea. And that idea wasn't about becoming the world's largest video platform. It was about dating. The founders believed video could solve a major problem in online dating. Traditional dating websites relied on photos and written profiles.
People could exaggerate.
They could hide aspects of their personality. Photos revealed appearance, but not much else. Video, however, was different. Video showed facial expressions, voice, personality, confidence, humor. The founders believed users would feel more connected after watching a short video introduction.
The concept seemed logical. Instead of uploading a photograph, users would upload a video.
Potential matches could watch those videos and decide whether they wanted to connect. Simple,
innovative,
different,
at least in theory.
The founders worked hard building the platform. The technology itself was impressive.
Uploading video online wasn't easy in 2005. The infrastructure required to process, store, and display videos was far more challenging than many people realized. Yet the team solved those technical problems. They built the website. They launched the service.
And then they waited for users, for traffic, for growth,
for validation.
Days passed. Almost nothing happened. Weeks passed.
Still very little happened.
The founders checked their analytics. No meaningful activity. No flood of new users. No excitement. No momentum. Just silence. The dating concept wasn't attracting attention. People simply weren't interested. The problem wasn't the technology. The videos worked. The uploads worked. The website functioned. The problem was demand.
There wasn't enough of it. Imagine spending months building something you genuinely believe will succeed, only to discover that almost nobody wants it.
That's exactly what happened.
Many entrepreneurs describe this stage as one of the most painful experiences in business.
Failure isn't dramatic. It isn't exciting. It's quiet. It looks like empty dashboards.
No emails, no notifications, no customers,
just uncertainty. The founders began searching for solutions.
Maybe the marketing was wrong.
Maybe people simply didn't know the site existed.
Perhaps they needed better promotion. So they tried.
They advertised.
They spread the word. They encouraged participation. According to various accounts from the early days of YouTube, they even attempted to encourage women to upload dating videos by offering financial incentives. Still, participation remained low.
The concept wasn't catching on. At this point, many startups would have died. In fact, most startups do. What separates successful founders from unsuccessful ones isn't intelligence.
It isn't luck. It's often their response to failure.
And YouTube's founders were about to demonstrate exactly why.
Instead of becoming obsessed with their original idea, they started paying attention to user behavior.
This decision would change everything.
Because while users weren't interested in uploading dating videos, something else was happening.
A few people began using the platform in unexpected ways.
Rather than introducing themselves for romantic purposes, they uploaded random videos, family clips, funny moments,
personal recordings,
videos that had nothing to do with dating.
At first, these uploads may have seemed insignificant, a problem affecting millions of internet users. This realization represented a turning point. The founders faced a choice:
continue pursuing the original dating vision,
or abandon it entirely. Neither option was easy.
Walking but hidden inside them was a powerful signal.
The users were revealing something important.
They weren't interested in finding dates. They were interested in sharing videos. Any videos.
The founders began noticing the pattern.
And the more they observed, the more obvious it became.
The technology wasn't solving a dating problem. It was solving a video sharing problem.
A much bigger problem.
A problem affecting millions of internet users. This realization represented a turning point. The founders faced a choice:
continue pursuing the original dating vision,
or abandon it entirely. Neither option was easy.
Walking away from an original idea feels like admitting failure. Entrepreneurs become emotionally attached to their creations. They invest time,
energy,
identity, dreams. Changing direction can feel like giving up. But sometimes persistence means holding on to a vision.
And sometimes persistence means letting it go. Fortunately for the future of the internet, YouTube's founders chose the second option.
They listened, not to their assumptions, not to their business plans,
not to their hopes.
They listened to the users.
And what the users were saying would transform the company forever. Chapter 4: The Pivot That Changed Everything. In business, there is a word that every entrepreneur eventually learns: pivot. A pivot occurs when a company fundamentally changes direction after discovering that its original idea isn't working. Most pivots are forgotten. Some create moderate success. A tiny number become legendary. The YouTube pivot belongs in the final category. The founders gradually came to an extraordinary conclusion. People didn't want a video dating platform.
They wanted a place where anyone could upload and share any kind of video. The insight sounds obvious today, but in 2005 it was revolutionary.
No major platform had successfully made online video sharing simple for ordinary users. The founders had accidentally built exactly the infrastructure needed to solve that problem.
Now they simply needed to remove the restrictions, so they did.
The dating focus disappeared. Users no longer needed to create dating profiles. Videos no longer needed romantic themes.
Anyone could upload almost anything.
A funny clip,
a family memory, a pet doing something ridiculous,
a travel experience, a personal message. For the first time, video sharing felt easy, and that simplicity changed everything. Growth began slowly.
Then it accelerated.
Then it exploded. People started sharing links with friends.
Friends shared them with more friends.
Online forums discovered the platform. Blogs started embedding videos.
Communities began forming around content. Something powerful was happening.
For years, internet users had wanted an easy way to share videos.
Now, they finally had one, and they loved it.
Traffic increased.
Uploads increased. Viewership increased.
The founders watched the numbers climb. The same dashboards that once displayed disappointment now displayed momentum. The same website that had struggled to attract attention was beginning to spread across the internet. Every day brought more evidence. The pivot was working.
But success created a new challenge: scale. When a startup fails, resources disappear slowly. When a startup succeeds, resources disappear quickly.
Servers became expensive. Storage costs increased. Bandwidth requirements exploded. Every uploaded video consumed money. Every view consumed money. The founders suddenly faced a problem most entrepreneurs dream of having:
too many users.
Yet rapid growth brought something even more valuable: validation.
The internet was speaking clearly. People wanted video sharing.
Not just a few people, millions of people.
And unlike many technology trends, this demand wasn't temporary.
Video was becoming a universal language.
A language that crossed countries, cultures, and generations.
The founders had stumbled onto something enormous.
But they still had no idea how enormous.
Because the platform was about to experience a moment that would become part of internet history. A simple 19-second clip.
Recorded at a zoo. A video so ordinary that nobody could have predicted its significance. Yet that short recording would become the first chapter in a completely new era of communication.
And its creator was one of YouTube's own founders, George Karim.
Chapter 5: Me at the Zoo. On April 23, 2005, A piece of internet history was quietly created.
There were no reporters, no media coverage, no headlines announcing a revolution, no one gathering to witness a historic moment. In fact, to almost everyone alive at the time, it was completely ordinary. George Karim stood in front of a group of elephants at the San Diego Zoo, holding a camera. He recorded a short video. The clip lasted just 19 seconds. In it, Karim casually talked about the elephants standing behind him. He pointed out their long trunks. That was it. No dramatic storytelling, no special effects, no editing,
no music.
Just a young man speaking casually at a zoo. Today, the video seems almost laughably simple.
Yet simplicity was precisely what made it important.
The clip wasn't remarkable because of its content. It was remarkable because of what it represented. For the first time, an ordinary person had uploaded a video to a platform specifically designed for sharing videos with the world. The video was called Me at the Zoo, and it became the first video ever uploaded to YouTube.
At the time, nobody knew its significance.
Karim probably didn't know.
His CEO founders probably didn't know.
The handful of early viewers certainly didn't know.
But history often begins quietly.
When people imagine transformative moments, they imagine dramatic speeches, groundbreaking inventions, and world-changing announcements.
Reality is usually less dramatic. History often starts with something so ordinary that nobody notices.
The first YouTube video was one of those moments, because it represented a fundamental shift. For decades, television had operated as a one-way medium. A small number of organizations created content.
Everyone else consumed it. Viewers had very little influence,
very little control, very little opportunity to participate.
YouTube introduced a completely different idea. Anyone could become a creator. Anyone. You didn't need a television network. You didn't need expensive equipment. You didn't need a broadcasting license.
You simply needed a video. This concept would eventually transform entertainment forever.
But in April 2005, it was still just an experiment.
The platform remained small. Growth was increasing, but it wasn't yet obvious that YouTube would dominate the future. Still, momentum was building. Each uploaded video attracted more users. Each new user attracted more viewers.
And each viewer represented another person discovering how easy online video sharing had become.
The internet had finally found what it had been missing.
Convenience.
People no longer wanted to email massive files.
They no longer wanted to struggle with complicated formats. They wanted a simple link they could share instantly.
YouTube delivered exactly that. The timing could not have been better. Broadband internet was expanding.
Digital cameras were becoming more affordable.
Consumer technology was improving rapidly. Millions of people suddenly had access to tools that allowed them to create videos.
Now, they finally had a place to upload them. And they did, at an astonishing rate. Chapter 6: Explosive Growth. Throughout 2005, YouTube's growth accelerated.
Every week brought more users.
Every month brought more uploads. The platform was beginning to spread across the internet like wildfire. One reason for this growth was simple.
Watching videos was fun.
Sharing videos was even more fun.
People discovered clips they loved and immediately sent them to friends.
Those friends shared them with other friends.
Entire communities began forming around videos.
Unlike traditional media, YouTube wasn't controlled by executives deciding what audiences should watch.
The audience decided. If people liked a video, they shared it. If they didn't, they ignored it.
This democratic system created something powerful.
The internet became its own programming director, and the results were extraordinary.
Funny videos spread rapidly. Music performances gained audiences.
Creative experiments found viewers.
For the first time, ordinary people could reach large audiences without asking anyone for permission.
This was revolutionary.
It challenged decades of assumptions about media. Television networks had gatekeepers.
Movie studios had gatekeepers. Radio stations had gatekeepers.
YouTube had none. Anyone could upload. Anyone could watch.
Anyone could participate.
As exciting as this growth was, it created enormous problems. Every successful startup eventually encounters a dangerous stage.
The stage where growth begins outpacing infrastructure.
And YouTube reached that stage quickly. Videos require storage.
Lots of storage. Each upload consumed valuable server space.
As millions of videos accumulated, costs skyrocketed.
Bandwidth expenses increased even faster. Every time someone watched a video, data traveled across the internet. More views meant higher costs. More users meant higher costs.
More success meant higher costs.
The founders found themselves trapped in a strange situation.
The platform was becoming popular, yet popularity threatened the company's survival.
Running YouTube was expensive, very expensive, and the growth showed no signs of slowing down.
Investors began paying attention. Technology journalists began paying attention.
Competitors began paying attention. Everyone could see that something important was happening. The question was whether YouTube could survive long enough to capitalize on it. At the same time, another challenge emerged: copyright.
As user uploads increased, copyrighted material began appearing on the platform. Television clips, movie scenes,
Music videos, content owned by large media companies.
many of these companies viewed YouTube as a threat.
They worried about losing control. They worried about piracy. They worried about revenue.
And in many cases, those concerns were justified. The founders suddenly found themselves navigating a legal and technological minefield.
They needed growth.
But they also needed compliance.
They needed openness.
But they also needed responsibility.
Finding the right balance wasn't easy. Meanwhile, competitors were beginning to notice YouTube's success.
Other companies attempted to enter the market.
Some copied features. Others launched entirely new video platforms. Competition intensified.
Yet YouTube continued pulling ahead. Its brand was becoming stronger. Its user base was becoming larger. Most importantly, its network effects were becoming nearly impossible to replicate.
The more users joined YouTube, the more valuable YouTube became. Creators wanted audiences.
Audiences wanted creators.
Both groups increasingly found each other on YouTube. This created a powerful cycle.
More creators attracted more viewers.
More viewers attracted more creators. Growth fed growth, and the platform expanded faster than anyone had imagined.
By 2006, YouTube had become one of the fastest growing websites on the internet.
Millions of videos were being watched every day. Millions of users were visiting regularly.
The startup that had once struggled to attract dating profiles was now becoming a global phenomenon.
Silicon Valley was paying attention.
Wall Street was paying attention.
The media was paying attention.
And one company in particular was paying very close attention:
Google. At the time, Google was already one of the most influential technology companies in the world. Its search engine dominated the internet. Its advertising business generated enormous revenue. Its ambitions extended far beyond search.
Google understood something many others did not.
Video was going to become one of the most important forms of communication on the internet.
The company had attempted its own video initiatives, but none had achieved the traction YouTube was experiencing. Every month made this situation clearer. YouTube wasn't merely growing.
It was becoming the default destination for online video. And if Google wanted a serious position in the future of online video, it faced a critical decision:
compete with YouTube or acquire it.
Inside conference rooms and executive offices, discussions began taking place. The stakes were enormous.
The numbers were staggering.
And the outcome would become one of the most famous acquisitions in technology history. The three founders who had once struggled to convince people to upload dating videos were now sitting at the center of one of Silicon Valley's biggest opportunities. What happened next would shock the technology world.
Because the price tag attached to YouTube seemed almost unbelievable.
Especially for a company that was barely a year old. Chapter 7: The Billion-Dollar Deal. By late 2006, YouTube had become impossible to ignore.
The numbers were staggering.
Millions of users were visiting the platform every month. Hundreds of millions of videos were being viewed. Traffic was growing faster than almost anyone had predicted.
For most startups, growth like this would be a dream. For YouTube, it was both a blessing and a burden. The company was becoming one of the most recognizable websites on the internet, but with every new user came new expenses.
Servers, storage, bandwidth, legal challenges, operational costs.
The platform was growing so quickly that keeping it online required enormous resources. Resources that a young startup simply didn't have.
The founders understood that they were approaching a crossroads.
They could attempt to continue independently, or they could join forces with a larger company.
Meanwhile, inside Google's headquarters, executives were watching carefully.
Google had built one of the most powerful search engines in history.
But the future wasn't just about search. It was about content.
And increasingly, that content was video. Google recognized a simple truth. People weren't just reading information anymore.
They were watching it,
Learning through it,
sharing it.
experiencing it.
Video was becoming the language of the internet.
And YouTube had become its fastest growing translator.
The conversations intensified. Executives analyzed the numbers.
Lawyers examined the risks.
Investors debated the future.
Then, in October 2006, the announcement arrived.
Google was acquiring YouTube. The price? $1.65 billion.
At the time, the figure seemed absurd. Many critics believed Google had overpaid.
After all, YouTube was barely a year old.
The company wasn't generating massive profits.
It faced copyright concerns.
Its business model was still evolving. To some observers, spending $1.65 billion looked reckless. But history would prove otherwise, because Google wasn't buying YouTube's present.
It was buying YouTube's future, and that future would become far more valuable than anyone imagined. The acquisition instantly transformed the founders' lives. Chad Hurley,
Steve Chen,
George Karim,
three young entrepreneurs who had once struggled to attract users to a dating website were now part of one of the biggest technology deals of the decade. But the acquisition wasn't the end of the story. In many ways, it was just the beginning, because under Google's ownership, YouTube gained access to something it desperately needed:
scale, infrastructure,
resources, stability. The company could now focus on growth without constantly worrying about survival.
and grow it did. What followed would reshape the internet forever.
Chapter 8: The platform that changed humanity. When YouTube launched in 2005, nobody could have predicted its eventual impact.
Not the founders, not the investors, not even Google.
The platform had started as a failed dating website. Now it was evolving into something much larger, something far beyond video sharing. YouTube became a global stage, a digital classroom, a music platform, a television network, a business tool, a cultural archive, and perhaps most importantly, a place where ordinary people could be heard. Before YouTube, becoming a broadcaster was difficult.
You needed connections, money, equipment, distribution.
Gatekeepers controlled access.
Most people never had a chance. YouTube changed that.
Suddenly, anyone with a camera could publish content. Anyone with an internet connection could build an audience. Anyone with a story could share it with the world. This simple shift created an entirely new economy.
The creator economy. Millions of people began producing content.
Some taught mathematics, others explained science.
Some entertained audiences with comedy. Others shared gaming experiences. Musicians uploaded songs.
Artists displayed their work. Entrepreneurs built businesses.
Teachers reached students across continents. The barriers that once limited communication began disappearing.
A teenager in a small town could now reach millions of viewers.
A teacher could educate students across the globe. A musician could build a fan base without a record label.
A filmmaker could share stories without a movie studio. The opportunities were unprecedented,
and the effect spread far beyond entertainment.
Education was transformed. Students no longer relied exclusively on textbooks. Complex topics could be explained visually.
Lessons could be replayed endlessly.
Knowledge became more accessible than ever before.
Businesses adapted as well.
Companies discovered new ways to market products. Entrepreneurs built brands through content.
Experts established authority through educational videos.
Marketing shifted dramatically. Influence became decentralized.
Even journalism changed.
Independent creators began reporting stories. Documentary filmmakers reached audiences directly. News no longer flowed exclusively through traditional institutions.
The internet was becoming more participatory, more democratic,
more personal.
Music experienced a revolution of its own.
Artists who once depended on record labels could now publish directly to fans. Unknown musicians achieved global fame.
Songs accumulated billions of views. Entire careers emerged from a single upload.
The platform also transformed gaming.
What was once considered a niche hobby became mainstream entertainment.
Gaming creators built massive audiences. Communities formed around shared interests. A completely new category of digital entertainment emerged. And then there were the creators themselves. People who began uploading videos for fun eventually built businesses worth millions.
Some became celebrities. Others became educators. Many became entrepreneurs. An entirely new profession appeared:
content creator.
a profession that barely existed before YouTube. Perhaps the most remarkable aspect of YouTube's growth is that it wasn't driven solely by technology. It was driven by people, by creativity, by curiosity, by the universal desire to share experiences. Every upload represented a voice. Every view represented a connection. And together, those connections created something extraordinary. Today, billions of people use YouTube. Billions. The platform operates in countries across the world. Content is available in countless languages. The scale is almost impossible to comprehend. Yet hidden beneath all those statistics lies a simple truth. None of it was supposed to happen.
The founders didn't set out to build the world's largest video platform.
They didn't predict a creator economy. They didn't foresee billions of users. They simply started with an idea that failed, and that failure changed everything. When people look at successful companies, they often focus on the victory,
The acquisition, the growth,
the billions of users, the global recognition. What they rarely examine is the failure that came first.
YouTube's story is not a story about getting everything right,
It's a story about getting something wrong,
then having the courage to change course.
The founders believed they were building a dating website.
The market disagreed. Instead of ignoring reality, they listened. Instead of forcing their original vision, they adapted.
Instead of quitting, they pivoted. And that decision changed the internet forever. Today, billions of videos have been uploaded to YouTube. Careers have been built. Businesses have been launched. Knowledge has been shared.
Lives have been changed, all because 3 entrepreneurs were willing to let go of an idea that wasn't working. There is a lesson hidden inside that story. Failure is not always the opposite of success.
Sometimes failure is the path to success. Sometimes the thing that doesn't work reveals the thing that will. And sometimes the world's most influential platforms begin as ideas that nobody wants. In 2005, 3 former PayPal employees launched a dating website that almost nobody used.
20 years later, billions of people use the accidental invention that emerged from its failure.
And that accidental invention is called YouTube.
Enjoying the story?
Every great company has a story. Every empire was once an idea.
We uncover the journeys behind the world's greatest companies. If you love stories of ambition, risk, innovation, and success, you're in the right place. Your support helps us tell more incredible stories. Comment your thoughts, favorite moments, or the company you want us to cover next.
Like if you enjoyed the video. A like helps more people discover our content.
Subscribe, join our community, and never miss a story behind the world's greatest companies.
Great companies, incredible stories,
Endless inspiration.
for even better audience retention and engagement. You could shorten it too. Every great company started with an idea. If you enjoy uncovering the stories behind the world's biggest brands, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment telling us which company we should cover next.
Your support helps us bring more incredible business stories to life. See you on our next episode of Covering Greatness.